Well, good evening, Internet, and as always, I do hope this finds you well. And welcome to another Licks of the Legend episode, and tonight we are looking at someone who could very possibly claim to be the tastiest guitarist ever, and that is the one and only Robben Ford. So if you're familiar with the series here, then welcome back. If you're a new viewer, welcome. It's lovely to have you. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. And all the tabs for the licks that I'm going to demonstrate will be in the blog, which is now on Patreon, Ko-Fi and Subscribestar. Doing this partly to avoid having to increase lesson prices, partly because I need a new clutch. But enough of that. So, the potted history of Mr. Ford and his illustrious career is on the blog post, as are the tabs for the licks, and I'm going to demonstrate these to you now. So we'll get straight into this first one. Now this is taken from the Miller's Son in the key of F minor. I'm just going to drop a little bit of distortion on there. And we are using primarily the F minor pentatonic and F blues scale here, and sticking largely to first position. I'm going to play this through quickly first. And now let's start breaking that down a little bit. So, if you're familiar with the magic 3 notes concept, then you're probably also familiar with what happens when you take that concept up a string group from the G and B to the B and E strings. So Robben takes that idea and then adds a bend on the 16th fret B. So that's E flat, flat 7 into root. We've all done that. Up to the root note, and then pull off minor third to root, back to flat 7, root note, and then we've got a big bend here, bending the E flat into the F again. Flat 7 into root is giving that some vibrato. So far, so nice. And this is certainly Robben Ford, not really with pedal to metal at this point. This is why I would consider pulling the spring back before we let it go. And then we let it go. And then we have this absolutely blistering run down the blues scale. So I'll break this down section by section. And then down onto 16th fret G. So there is my blues scale note. Slide that back, pull off. And then bluesy little finger roll. And then down to the A string. And we're using the 4th, flat 5th and 5th of the scale. as a way of sort of nailing the turnaround as well. Walking, because that's the root note of the 4 chord, and we've got a passing note, and then we've got the root note of the 5 chord. So play through slowly. And one more time slowly. And then let's start giving it the beans. Now this is definitely one I would recommend taking across all keys and practicing, and as well as that, doing it in every register as well. So here it is, for example, in F minor pentatonic down an octave. And then if I were to follow the cycle of fourths, my next step would be B flat. And up an octave. And so on in fourths all the way through the chromatic scale. If you do this, you are going to have that lick firmly embedded in the fingers. And if you try and put a little bit of rhythmic context around it, so let's say I'm in B flat, I'm going to put this over, say, a B flat power chord. I'm going to put this in the context of a B flat power chord. Just trying to keep a beat there, tapping your foot to it. Doing that is a really great way of getting a handle on how the lick feels, how you should use it, how much space it takes up. And as I say, you take that approach to practicing a new lick whenever you find it, these things are going to make their way into your vocabulary much more quickly, and you will discover how you can actually use them in practice. Okay, moving on then to the second lick. This is taken from Indianola and C minor, and we are mixing up a little bit of position 4 and position 1 and a little bit of position 2 of C minor pentatonic, and again with those signature chromatic passing notes. So here we go. So we break that down, sliding in there, G to B flat, and holding that flat 7. Before we get into which, that's another blues scale lick. I'm going, there's my F sharp, which is my flat 5, and then back to the F, the 4th. Before coming down to position 1, C minor pentatonic. And notice those sneaky little quarter tone bends. Just ever so slightly sharp, but they do just give it that tasty blues attitude, that twang, that spiciness. So here we are slowly. Here we are again slowly without a mistake. And then we'll try and do it a little bit more quickly. Okay, and let's move on to our third example. Now this is taken from Up the Line, and this is in D minor pentatonic. And again, we are going to hear largely to position 1 with a little bit of position 2. But you'll also see we introduce the flat 5 from the blues scale, as well as the major 6, which is actually where we start. So that's the B, major 6, bent into flat 7. So let's play through that slowly. And a little bit more quickly. Okay, so breaking this down, there's my 6, a little twang of major pentatonic. Jump up. There's my position shift. A little bit of blues scale there. Coming back down the minor pentatonic. And this bit's interesting. So you might remember from the Albert King lick many moons ago how it all revolves around those wider intervals. In this case the 4th. Before finishing off on the F, sort of implying a little bit of F major. So here we are slowly. And then let's give it a bit more speed. Okay, and then finally I'm just going to clean the sound up ever so slightly, because this is taken from Ain't Got Nothing But Blues, and this is in B flat minor, and there's all sorts going on here. Basically we're starting off, you can think of this as kind of based around position 3, B flat minor pentatonic, a little bit of position 4, with the addition of the blues scale, note the E, that's your flat 5. And a little dash of major pentatonic in there as well, as we'll see towards the end. So I've got my little rundown. So a little chromatic run to start off. 5 to flat 5 to 4th. Minor 3rd bent up a quarter tone. In between major and minor. There's my root. And there's position shift up there. And there is my flat 5 again. Minor 3rd slid briefly into major 3rd and then back again. And then a dash of major. As there's my F note, which is the 5th, but I'm also including the D note, which is the major 3rd here, and the G note, which is the major 6th. So slowly. And again slowly. And let's give it the beans for one last go. And one more, because this is tasty as hell. So there we go, 4 examples of some of the absolutely gorgeous Robben Ford jazz-inflected blues playing. He says his mission is to affect you, not to impress you. Well, for me, it's done both. And say, do please remember, like, share, subscribe, the holy trinity of YouTube. And you can also find me on Patreon, Ko-Fi and Subscribestar. Although, I'd go Patreon because I haven't figured out how to upload videos to the other two yet. And that's where the blog will be staying from now on. And it's a mere £2 a month. But as I say, times is hard and I need a new clutch. So that's why I'm playing the blues. Meantime, I'll see you next month. All the best.